Well, the one with the central motor doesn't have front wheel element.
No, but you'd still be able to change the gear on the back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Does that make the motor work more efficiently, being able to change the gear ratio between the motor and the wheel?
Well, the point is when you ride the e-bike, it allows you for far greater, gives you more ability to adjust, your speed and your effort to what you like, really. It's much easier to be very comfortable on e-bike versus regular bike because of the power assistance. You don't need to carry as much about your own tiredness, to begin with. If you want to go faster, you simply push harder on the pedal, and the system senses that and gives you more boost, right? So if that's a preference, that's what you do. So it's really easy to find a sweet spot on an e-bike. Yes.
How efficient are the motors compared to other products? You've got German and what's the other variety that you bring in?
The Spanish and German,
yeah. Are they in the 90% category efficiency or are they 85% efficiency? In other words, you'll have a backbone that has so many watt hours of energy in it, and you only get as much out of that as the motor will allow you to be efficient too. So some bikes aren't that efficient.
Yeah.
How they stand up, how these ones.
I don't remember the exact number. I can find it out for you. All I can tell you in any of these bikes, in an eco mode, you can go up to 100 kilometers. Full boost, 50, 56, until you run out of speed.
Yeah, it's a system thing.
Yes, yes.
Do they conform to the European standard? Because I know, the European standard is a bit more conservative than the Canadian standard.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, they conform to the number. It's on the sticker. They have a sticker on the front. You can read the number. But yes, they do.
So, is there any plan to maybe have a more powerful version for the Canadian market, or could there be a modification to the controller?
You can't really modify the existing controller. We are planning to go back to manufacturer and see if we can convince them to unleash more power of the system. So it's possible.
So we imagine that'd be a software thing, yeah?
Yes. Well, the actual motor as well, because on the Panasonic bike comes with a 250 watt motor. The Neo comes with a 350 watt motor, which is still below the maximum, which is 500, right? So technically, they could change the control of the motor and give more boost. Personally, I don't really think it's necessary because as it is right now, it provides plenty peace.
Have you had any experienced customers telling about battery theft? China is obviously they've got a huge problem with battery theft in those bikes. I've read that. I don't know if you've seen similar things here.
Yeah. Well, the batteries are removable. They come with the heat lock. So yeah, I always tell people, if you plan to park downtown or in an open area, unsecure area, just remove the battery and read it.
So you haven't had many customers come back to buy batteries?
Okay.
Not at this point. Then people don't know what they are, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, give them time. Yeah.
Well, especially the design where the battery is integrated into the frame.
Right.
It's not obvious that one battery's there.
Yeah.
Also, it's proprietary to the kit. A battery like that cannot be used in another bike, right?
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
One of the great problems of the battery world.
So why don't we get John in here right now?
While we switch machines,
Switch speakers. And that will
word from our sponsor? Well, it's great to see so many people out, the audio on. Just a quick update from the government committee. We spoke to the provincial government again today to get an update. Today marks the 100th rebate that has been applied for at the provincial government. We now have 100 electric vehicles in BC, and there was about 20 or 30 that were sold before the rebates came in. So it's been a great uptake, and we've seen, really encouraging news. Other things that are happening in the government is in the announcement of the $14 million for rebates last November, we also had money for an infrastructure fund for funding about 1,000 charge stations throughout BC, about 30 fast charge stations to be every 30 to 50 kilometers around the Trans-Canada up to Whistler, and also Highway 5, I believe, is on the schedule. They need somebody to administer that. They issued an RFP to invite applicants to apply to see who's going to administer the fund, just the administration of handing out money. Ultimately, municipalities and other people will apply for funding of up to about $4,500 per charge station to install in public locations. And then these people will follow the criteria set up by the government and overall administer. I know a couple of our local other related organizations, people I've worked with applied. We don't know who will win, but that will be announced in the next few days. I think before the 27th, because I had to have some completion date in this budget year. So we'll know very soon who will be administering that money, and then they'll open it up who can apply for that money. So these people like municipalities, fleets, companies, nonprofit associations, these could potentially apply to the funding to say, we'd like to put a charge station here if we have land, but either doesn't, but maybe our members do. And we could possibly go to them and say, we'd like to see a charge station here, and one here, and one here, and one there. But we've got members who live there, or who own a business, and they'd like to see one there, and collectively we could put in an application. That's well within the realms of this program. There's a list on the government website of where their teams go. There's like 100 here, 100 there, 100 municipalities, 100 on highways, the 100 curbside charging. So they want to explore how does curbside charging work. So you could say, I want to put one in front of my house, and that would be an application. And our next speaker, if you want to bring your computer up and start connecting while I fill in some time here. To be sure
You don't need a machine, do you?
No.
All I need is about 60 seconds.
So that's what's happening. If that's an interesting idea, that within a month or last part of our next meeting, all the details of that will be out, and the planning will be in place to be able to say, yeah, do we want to do this? Do you think you want a charge station, public charge station, in front of your house, probably run out of your house, that you could use in your condo or wherever else that would be publicly accessible at your place of business? Then bring that to the next meeting, and we'll see whether we can put something together and put charge stations where we, the people who have been pioneering electric vehicles for 22 years, would like to see this. That's where the government would. Although they've got a pretty good plan and input to it. What else is doing? The BC Hydro Infrastructure Guide for BC was about a couple of years ago. They're rewriting it for Canada. I've been one of the major contributors. We had a review yesterday, a couple of days ago, of the first draft. Again, more additions, that kind of thing. And so that's work going on, which I'm helping provide. We've got a costing table in there indicating how much it might cost to renovate your house. A lot of good information coming in there. If you're interested in it, come talk to me afterwards. And I think you got another couple of people. If there's any other questions on what's going on in the government relations, talk to me. Yes.
Level 3 charging. How many are they going to put in?
They're looking at about 30. And they're going to do the lower southeast corner of BC. The southwest corner, sort of like up to Kamloops or Kelowna, sort of about that far, maybe Lower Island.
Like with Vancouver and the island first, and then
yeah,
and Whistler, and then it would be several years out, but then
yeah. couple of years. It's got about 30 in the plan, and the funding is applied for much of it.
How far apart?
You're targeting about every 30 to 50 kilometers. And that was an extension of the Green Highway from California all the way up. It was originally called the Hydrogen Highway, now called the Green Highway. Obama made an announcement last week about the Green Highway, so we got another interview on CKNW called me last week. I just told him what a great idea it was, and we've been working on it for 20 years. So, yeah, we'll see charge stations, the fast charge stations. They're actually not technically level 3, they're technically level 2 DC. But still work. And even a level 2 will give you 60 kilometers of range in an hour of charging. The new one, the 40 amp one, should do, because they'll deliver 8 kilowatts. So maybe 50, 60, they should deliver that much. Everybody's going to get different cars. Other questions? Yeah.
So if I, for instance, if I went to my municipality or council meeting and with this proposal, who do they talk to?
About if you want to install in front of your business?
Well, not for municipality.
For municipality? You'll be applying to this fund. So you'll be announcing that over the next month, who that fund coordinator will be and who you apply to. They won't know yet someone who's going to win the contract, and they've got to set up some plans. Then they'll be reaching out to people like yourself, so watch for it. Within a month from now, a few days from now, we'll know who that person will be.
Okay, so the association is going to announce it, or?
I'll bring the news, probably a public media release.
Oh, okay. You can probably give them a heads up on that.
As soon as a heads up there, you don't see it next, week or two, or by the next meeting, they'll have enough information to be able to say, yeah, we'll apply.
Right.
Good.
Okay, in connection with that.
Good question. How does the funding work on that? Are these like pay stations that are going to be collecting for the charge?
To be determined.
Taxes?
Somebody's got to pay. Likely the taxpayer initially. A lot of them will be free initially. And then they'll figure out the accountants will figure out some way to charge for it. The one at home is cheaper. If you're out and you really need to extend your range, you'll probably pay a fair bit for it.
One day it'll be free, the next day you'll be asked for a card.
Yeah.
Good software does it all. Okay, anyway, Martin will say a few words about different kind of e-bike, actually cargo bike. Before I introduce it, before I let him speak though, I just wanted to mention in connection with EV charging stations, BCIT promised to send me a map of the location of the charging stations on the campus, and when I got the map, there was no indication, so they were surprised that there was nothing on there, and they said they're going to send it back to the drawing board. So sooner or later, I'll have Gordon put that up on the website, and we'll know where they are on campus.
Yeah, now, if I may just jump in here, we had security out here earlier testing the e-bike, and the 3 security guys know where the actual charging station is. So if you want to find the charging station on campus, talk to the security guys, because they know where it is.
Okay. All right. Martin will say a few words about cargo bikes. He's with
Transportation Alternatives.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Mark did a wonderful presentation on e-bikes, and I thank you for that because it cuts out about 90% of what I need to say. What my company does is we decided to start bringing in some cargo carrying bicycles. Now, these bikes obviously have been around for 150 years or so. They've been around for a very, very long time. 3-wheelers in Scandinavian countries, in Denmark, Holland, Netherlands, 2-wheelers. So the bike you saw outside, how many people got to try it? Oh. Does it work?
Yep. It's okay.
Doesn't work. Do I need this? Can you guys hear me? I'm gonna put it away. Okay. So, how many people tried the cargo bike? A few people.
Oh.
But you guys saw it, right, outside? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's my
It's not all right.
All right. Okay, so these bikes, the predecessors to the bikes that we bring in, are called long jump. They are from Denmark, and they were designed to be used in industrial complexes. in large industrial complexes, they'll load them up with machinery or tools, whatever, and ride across long, large halls and stuff like that. Now, after the Second War, there was a shortage of everything, but they still had the bikes. People started using those bikes, for their own purposes, and that's how they took off. And as we all know, in certain countries in Europe, these cargo bikes are all over the place. Places like Holland is huge. In fact, last year, 10,000 bikes, cargo bikes, were sold worldwide. Only 10,000 bikes. 5,000 of them, half of them, were sold in Denmark and Holland, right? So the rest were in the world. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make Canada the first, Western country besides Holland and Denmark to adopt them a little bit. And so that's why we brought in it's called the Bullet, Larry versus Harry. The Bullet, Larry and Harry are two guys who took the long jump and they redesigned it to look a little more slick and sexy in 21st century, like they took away the steel frame, they replaced it with aluminum, and they made it look a little more modern. The bike is rated for 180 kilograms of rider and cargo, right? So, bigger people can't carry as much, but an average person should be able to throw in maybe 70, 80 kilos of cargo and ride it comfortably. On the flat ground, you'll have no problem riding the bike, even without the e-assist. But what we do is we are working on a system which will work a little bit better for our conditions for Vancouver. So what we came up with is the front wheel is 20 inches, a smaller wheel. So we came up with an electric motor that we put on the front wheel, small wheel, a little more torque, and you lose a little range maybe. We'll see. The battery that we're working on will be quite large. We were promised about 60 amp hours for the battery, so it should be quite a bit. And we're hoping that municipalities, small companies like flower delivery shops, bakeries, even craftsmen. We had one customer from Montreal who is a carpenter. He uses the bike as his work vehicle. All he does is he loads it up with all of his tools, everything he needs, and all of his materials are delivered anyway. He doesn't need a van, he doesn't need to pay insurance, no parking, no maintenance, no fuel, nothing. So he gives himself a raise by buying the bike and cutting out all those expenses. So that's what we're trying to do. We sold a few bikes to municipalities, not in the Lower Mainland yet, but that will hopefully change. We sold one to bakery. We sold a couple bikes to natural food grocers who use them as delivery vehicles for the groceries. Makes them look nice and clean and green, and the customer's happy, everybody's happy.
Would places like Victoria be a better bet for you? Victoria?
I can't answer that because I haven't marketed in Victoria.
Oh, okay.
But
everything seems much closer in Victoria, so that's
sure,
why.
it's probably a little more flat too, I'll be honest. No? No?
It's got to help Victoria.
But if anybody knows, anybody who could use, we try to market these to private families as well. It's a bit of an uphill battle because I think people are not quite ready to give up their cars yet. So what we do is we market these bikes, these car-sharing bicycles, as a second car replacement. Keep your main car, we don't want to touch it, we don't want to take away your main car. But if your family has more than one vehicle, get rid of one of them. Get rid of one of the gas-powered vehicles, replace it with a car-carrying electric bike. Right? You can use it for groceries. You can use it. I use it. I live in Burnaby. I put my 2-year-old daughter in her car seat in a bike, and we went off. We went around Stanley Park and back, 4 or 5 hour ride with an e-assist on it. It's just not an issue. She fell asleep in it, she woke up, we were still riding, no problem. It was a lot of fun. So the bikes like that, they can be used for anything, really. With a little bit of imagination, they can replace 90% of your gas use. My business partner, Tom, he uses his demo bike daily. And he estimates he saves about $50 a week in fuel, right now at today's prices, right? So, as the price of fuel goes up, guys like, like us, guys who are a little more forward thinking, are actually smiling more and more because we're saving more money, right? People at the gas stations are complaining. Well, we have nothing to complain about, really. People like me and Mark, we know our time will come. It's not quite there yet, but it's coming. People are starting to look at the green solutions, and we're hoping to be a part of it. Any questions?
And this is the bike?
The bike, okay, I'm not sure if anybody heard this, but the bicycles are going up this year. All of the bicycles, the 10s are going up. So I got the price for this year. The bike will start about $3,500, right? Add the electric assist to it, so we're looking at around probably $5,000 with the electric assist, right? We estimate with everyday use, the bike like that will pay for itself within 18 to 24 months, as long as you use it every day. If you spend the money in parking in the garage, it's not much. Any other questions?
The battery.
The battery? Okay, so what we did for now is we outfitted it with this off-the-shelf EV kit, right? So EV kit that has a 500-watt motor on the front wheel, and we have a 16 amp-hour off-the-shelf battery. It's a lithium-ion battery, right? And we're working with fellows from this black bike I brought in. It's from a company called Elite. They're based in Vancouver. Elite electric bicycle. And they're working on setting up the battery specifically for our cargo bike. The battery will sit between the cargo area and the frame. It will be nice and low to the ground. It should have, I was assured it should be somewhere between 50 and 60 amp hours.
Yeah, you have a lot more room for battery than most bikes.
That's right, and in case of our bike, the weight is really not an issue because it's designed to carry a lot of weight. So, the bike is designed to carry, if you're going to use it as it's supposed to be, you should have 100 pounds in it of something at most times. So whether the battery weighs 10 or 15 pounds makes very little difference in our case. It's not designed for performance, it's designed to be a workhorse. And in that function, it performs very, very well.
Thanks very
And
much.
you look good while you ride it.
Okay, so lastly, we'll hear from Linda, Betty, I'm sorry, and
I just
you
imagine
noticed something last time about a new type of lead oxide battery, so we'll get some of the details of that today. Let's see if we have enough luminosity on the signal, luminance of the signal to not have to put the light up.